Whilst we have Mr. Firth up here, I would just like to conclude the thank yous by giving him a gift for all the work he's done himself. Thank you, Mr. We are very honoured to have Francois Pienaar as our guest speaker this evening. Although he needs very little introduction, as I'm sure most of you are well aware of his illustrious rugby career, I will give you a summary of his achievements to help the men from Eton out. Francois captained a remarkable Lions side that went through the entire 1993 season undefeated, winning 4 competitions, including the inaugural Super 10. No other team has achieved this remarkable feat since. He went on to play for South Africa, captaining the side in his very first match and every one of his 29 appearances thereafter, culminating in the famous 1995 World Cup final win. In 1996, he joined Saracens in London, where he became the first player coach and later the CEO. Under Francois' leadership, Saracens won their first ever trophy in 127 years. Francois has a personal tie to Bishops, and that his son is currently the captain of the Bishops' first team. He has assisted in coaching the Bishops team at times this season, and so I can say from personal experience about his vast understanding and knowledge of the game. He's undoubtedly an icon of South African rugby, and we look forward to hearing from him. After his address, Jean Pienaar, the Bishops captain, will say grace, which will be followed by dinner. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Mr. Pienaar.
Don't tell me I'm not the greatest. I am the double greatest. I knew that even before I was. Not only do I knock them out, I pick them around. If I was a street sweeper, I would be the world's greatest street sweeper. Now before Jean faints, this is not about me, these words were uttered by Cassius Marcellus Clay. Born on the 19th of January 1942. He died last month with Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest entertainers and sportsmen the world has ever seen. And at his funeral, eulogies were given by royalty, by presidents of countries, by famous people in Hollywood. And he was on the front page of every newspaper across the world. Sport is indeed very powerful. And Muhammad Ali is one of my 4 kings, the other being Elvis Presley, Bruce Lee, and Nelson Mandela. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you very much for asking me to say a couple of words here tonight. I asked my son Jean, what do I speak about? What would the young men want to hear? And he spoke blank. I went to the words of a wise man who said, never climb a wall that's leaning towards you. Never kiss a girl that's leaning away from you. And don't speak on a subject where the audience knows more about it than you do. Now, there's a lot of rugby knowledge here. And in South Africa, boy, everybody knows everything about rugby. Just go to a rugby match on the weekend and hear the moms running up and down shouting what the kids should be doing. And the dads, when they come home, you should be doing this, you should have done that. Everybody in South Africa knows rugby because they have a passion for sport. So I'm not going to talk about rugby. Because us former sports people and rugby players, we're not the smartest species on planet Earth. If you're a flanker, you are in the shallow end of the intellectual gene pool. Made a couple of mistakes. We don't help ourselves either. Tana Umaka, the great New Zealand captain, incredible rugby player, I had the privilege of playing against him. When he retired, he was interviewed on the field. And they asked him about his career, and he said, I owe a lot to my parents, especially my mother and my father. I played with a guy that won 2 World Cups, Os, Duran, the Ox. And when he retired, they asked him if he was going to write an autobiography. He said, on what? Great trip to Korea. Like me, he grew up speaking Afrikaans, and when an English touring side came to South Africa, he had to pluck out his best English. He says, in rugby, you must always remember the 3 P's. He says first, you must push. Second, you must pressure. And thirdly, you must support. And if you get those 3 P's right. Sport is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. England going and down to Australia and doing a clean sweep. And then the next week they go in the soccer fraternity to a low. From a high to losing to Iceland. Iceland's got 300 people. Iceland in the Euro. Unbelievable. Sport has got such a roller coaster. Leicester City. Remember Leicester City? On each and every newspaper in the world, a picture of Leicester City. 5,000 to 1 to win the Premiership. And they did. Incredible. Can you imagine? On Sunday night, when Iceland play France. I read in the papers today they can't find enough jerseys. There's not 3 people. There's 325,003, I think, Iceland people. They all want to wear their country's jersey because their team is playing for them on Sunday night against France. Sport has got this incredible power. Why? Why is sport so powerful? A couple of things that I love. You were not born. You look at sporting events and I went, wow. In 1954, a young medical British student by the name of Roger Bannister did what the world thought wasn't possible. He ran a mile in under 4 minutes. In 1968, Bob Beamon, a New Yorker, obliterated the world long jump record by mind-bending 2 feet, and the world went unbelievable. In 1974, my hero Muhammad Ali fought George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle in Kinshasa, Zaire, in the My-20 Stadium, Hollywood. We made a movie about that. Nadia Comaneci becomes the first ever gymnast to score a perfect 10. And this 14-year-old Romanian, she does it unthinkable 7 times. Tiger Woods stormed onto the scene in 97. A young kid playing in his first Masters, obliterated a field of rock stars, beating them by 12 shots, 18 under par. Incredible. Remember in Beijing, when Bolt actually slowed down in smashing the 100-meter record. Incredible. The phones were ringing. Did you see that? That's insane, man. And now when people do this, everybody knows what it means. He then went to London and he 3-peated. He's going to Rio. Do you think he's going to do it again? Incredible. So is he the best Olympian ever? The Americans would say, no, man. They'll say it's Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps is going to his 5th Olympic Games. He's won 22 medals, 18 gold. It would have been 19 if it wasn't for Chad Lecrow beaten by a fingernail. And we're still celebrating that in South Africa. Chad, our hero. Unbelievable, as his dad did say. The English would say, hang on. What about Sir Steve Redgrave? Rowing is a very tough sport. On the rugby field, you can hide and still win. I did a lot of that. In golf, you can miss a putt and still win. In tennis, you can drop a set and still win. In rowing, you miss a stroke and you lose. Steve Redgrave, in 5 Olympic Games, over 20 years, won 5 gold medals. Incredible. But just think about Jesse Owens in the 1936 Olympic Games. A black man, son from a sharecropper in Oakville, Alabama, marched into Adolf Hitler's great Berlin Arena. The whole world was watching. What did he do? He broke 3 world records and an Olympic record, 4 gold medals. So why is sport so powerful? Because it transcends. It transcends culture, creed, religion, race, nationalities. Sometimes it's just a simple game. But often, it's much, much more than just a simple game. It's full of life lessons. Your teammates in this team and the school that you represent would have taught you a lot about winning, about losing, about working hard, about earning respect, and not just bemoaning it because it doesn't work. But in your team, there'll be good guys, better than you, and some guys maybe not as good as you. It's how you work together that's going to make you a successful outfit or not. It's going to teach you a lot about life. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela said, sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that